So I was doing a bit of work on my Arrma Vorteks and I thought I'd record the process. So first up, I'm removing the screws attaching the shock absorber to the top of the shock tower. I'm removing the two screws attaching the front bumper to the shock tower. The shock tower makes up the top half of the differential cover. Next up, I remove the screw for the camber link. You only need to do this on one side. After this, there's 5 screws to remove on the underside of the car. So there's the front bumper out the way, and now the top differential cover is ready to remove. Now these aftermarket drive shafts I've got attached to the differential with a little grub screw. This is similar to the 4S drive shafts from like the Outcast. The 3S drive shafts attach a little bit differently. They attach through the centre and they thread into the differential. So here I'm going to remove the holder for the differential, also known as a yoke. So since fitting these aftermarket differentials, the gears have been quite noisy. So I'm taking it back apart here to try and find out what's causing it and if there's anything I can do to quieten it down. So I'm checking the mesh, and from what I can see, it looks like it could be a little bit tight. There's not much wiggle room between the gears, so I'm going to add a shim onto one side of the differential, or two shims. And what this is going to do is the shims are going to push the larger gear, called the crown gear. It's going to push that large gear away from the smaller gear to create a little bit more space. If the mesh is too tight, it can cause excessive noise and binding. So with the shimming done, I'm just putting it back together now. In my case, I feel like some of the noise is coming from the gears themselves, in how they've been manufactured. I feel like the quality might not be the best, and that some of that noise is always going to be there. Even if that noise remains, I know that the gears aren't binding and that everything's running smoothly and freely. The standard plastic differentials that these cars come with are a weak point, especially on 4S, but you will chew them up even on 3S. The same can be said for the stock plastic drive shafts. The U-joints, the pin can come out, so I'd recommend you upgrade to the CVD style drive shafts. You can get them from Arrma, but they're quite expensive, or you can get aftermarket ones like the ones I've got in this video. The other weak link in the drivetrain is definitely the stock slipper clutch with the plastic spur gear. That is probably the first thing you'll strip out, to be honest. You can go to a metal spur gear with a slipper clutch, or you can do away with the slipper clutch completely. My car runs on Mod 1 gears with no slipper clutch. Okay, so it's all back together now. We'll just check that everything's running freely, make sure everything feels fine, and then that's it, you're done. So I hope you found this useful. If you like this type of video, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.